So welcome back to another episode of ZGN Talks, and today we will be talking about the 3 things that no one shares with you about selling on the Amazon Marketplace. So before we go ahead and dive into this YouTube video, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that if you are looking to start a business on the Amazon Marketplace, you can't treat this as a hobby, because if you treat someone as a hobby, it will pay you as a hobby. A lot of people go into e-commerce just viewing it as a side thing, but if you view it as a side thing, you are going to be really disappointed with your results because again, you're viewing it as a hobby. It's like a little club thing, maybe even a little side job that you're doing, and it's going to pay you like a side job. You won't be satisfied with the income that you have coming in from it. And B, because it is a business, you need to treat it like an actual business. Because say, for example, you're working 9 to 5, which is completely fine. Most of my friends, family members, they work 9 to 5. That's completely fine. But when you're working 9 to 5, you have a specific routine that you follow, as if, for example, if you're following or building your own business, well, there's no structure to it. You don't really have a paved road or a specific routine to follow every single day, because you never truly know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. In business, there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of taking risks. So if you're looking to pursue starting an e-commerce business and you want to make a good income out of it, you need to treat it seriously and not just as a little side thing.
All right, so the first secret that pretty much no one tells you about selling on Amazon is that product categories are an extremely dynamic concept. Now, what you have to pretty much understand is there's a lot of different categories in Amazon, and they're not all weighed equally, both in profits, both in number of sales, and stuff like that. So there's a couple product categories out there that are actually pretty special in the way Amazon handles them and the amount of money you can make. A couple examples of this would be beauty and health, baby products, toys for kids. And while these products are product categories, Amazon places some unique emphasis and kind of algorithms on these unique categories. So for instance, what you noticed about all these categories is they all have something in common. You're applying it to yourself, or you're applying it to a minor. And let's just say you sell makeup. God forbid it turns out to be a bad batch of makeup and someone gets sick off of it. Well, when Amazon gets word of that, they're going to immediately pretty much ban your account, or at least shut it down until they can get a detailed description of what happened and what went wrong in your case. And the reason they do this with these product categories is because these product categories can be extremely dangerous if these sellers aren't trustworthy. For instance, Amazon doesn't want to be letting this seller sell makeup and sell baby supplies if they don't have a track record of being a consistent well-intentioned seller on their platform. Now, while this all may sound kind of scary, you get something wrong in like a beauty or health category, like a toys category, you get like banned or instantly shut down or deactivated. There is actually some pros to selling these categories. Mitch will kind of get more into it later. We call it pretty much product category restrictions. You're being gated. Gated is how we like to refer to it. But when you're ungated and you can actually sell these products and you have access to selling these products, the laws of economics take place. There's less sellers in these categories because people have to pass a certain threshold on the Amazon platform in order to be given the privilege to sell products like beauty and health and baby toys. But once you have access to selling those categories, the profits are obviously much higher. And the reason for that is because it's simple economics. There's a lot of demand. Amazon restricts the supply or the number of sellers. Therefore, you're going to make more money in these categories. But you have to be extremely careful in these categories. And Mitch and I highly do not recommend selling these categories if you are a brand new seller on Amazon.
So let's go ahead and dive into the second thing that most people won't tell you about selling on the Amazon Marketplace. And this has to really do around the idea of volatility. Now, Volatility happens in all parts of life. Say you have a job, you could get fired tomorrow. Say you go to school, one day you have all A's, another day you could be failing one of your classes, and life is just unpredictable. And that is similar to selling on the Amazon Marketplace, because Amazon is constantly changing its rules. Now, for us, bringing in a personal example, when we first started selling on the Amazon Marketplace, when we found good products to sell and then we tried to list them, we wouldn't be able to list these products because, as Emiliano mentioned earlier in this video, there's this thing called being gated from selling a product. So what does this mean? Now, again, this happens a lot in toys and games or beauty and personal care, because if you're a new seller, Amazon doesn't trust you with products that people put on their skin or put inside their bodies, or, kids playing with toys, because that could be a liability not only on their part, but for yourself as well. So when you're a new seller, you're not able to list many products because, again, you're gated from them. Now, there are ways to get ungated from these products. one of the best ways to do it is to just pay for a service to ungate you, but that could cost you anywhere from $500 to $1,000 and beyond. And maybe if you're starting out, you may not have that capital to spend. So one of the best things you can do is just continue doing product research to find products that you're actually allowed to sell. And then as your store starts growing, as you're getting more sales, as you're pushing more volume, Amazon trusts you more, the customers trust you more. Well, then there are times when you can automatically get ungated by Amazon itself to sell the product, because simply they trust you and you're already a proven seller. Now, another thing is that prices are constantly changing. So when you're on an Amazon listing and you're selling a product, you may not be the only seller listing the product. In fact, with pretty much all of our products, we are not the only people selling the products. We only go on listings that have at least 5 sellers or more on the listing itself. And maybe at one point you could sell a product for $70 and match the lowest price on the listing, but all of a sudden someone can come onto the marketplace and sell it for $50, and now you're getting completely undercut, and selling this product will no longer be profitable for you. And that is something you need to keep in mind. Price changes on the listing, but aside from price changes on the listing, something you really need to pay attention to is who you're getting the product from. So say, for example, you're getting it from a certain supplier, let's just call it supplier A, and say at one point you were able to source the product from that supplier for $20. Well, all of a sudden, after a few months, you could source it for $40, and the lowest cost on the Amazon listing itself went down, and now you're going to be losing major money, right? So this is something you need to take into account, because prices are constantly changing on this marketplace. And how we deal with that, we either have our back-end team manage the listings and manage the pricing, or we also use softwares that take care of all of that scraping, because these softwares, they scrape the web, and when these softwares scrape the web, they're able to really analyze the price changes that are going on. Now, the Amazon algorithm, surprise, surprise, no one really knows how the algorithm works unless you actually work in the Amazon marketplace. And I would probably assume that you have an NDA to not share with anyone how the algorithm works. But as we mentioned earlier, when you first start an Amazon account, you need to start off super slow, because, for example, if you come to the Amazon marketplace and you're just selling products and not really paying attention to these products, and customers are experiencing a lot of problems with these products, well, Amazon's going to come after you. Your store will get slowed down or even shut down, deactivated, suspended, and you may never really be able to sell on the marketplace again. And Amazon is constantly changing their algorithm around, how many products you should list a day that will favor you, which products you should list. And these things you'll never fully know, but it's just stuff that you really need to split test, because you can't just walk onto this marketplace, start listing products left and right, and expect to just make good money. That is just not how things work.
So the third and final secret to selling on Amazon we're going to cover in this video is going to be customer support and, really getting down how to treat your customers. Now, when you're selling on Amazon, you're not having a physical location. For instance, if you have a waffle shop and you want to just open it in downtown Los Angeles or, some suburb in America, you're not going to be able to charge as much for those waffles as, having a shop in Beverly Hills, because, you're surrounded by higher income individuals in Beverly Hills. And, it goes without saying that effect doesn't really happen to Amazon. Selling on Amazon is pretty much dictated purely by supply and demand for your product, and you can't really affect supply and demand by moving a physical location. So what it really comes down to on Amazon is one main differential between different sellers is going to be your customer support and obviously your rating on Amazon. And Mitch and I personally believe that if you're doing a business model besides private label on Amazon, it is relatively easy to get sales as long as the product you're selling is, a solid product and has a decent BSR or a bestsellers ranking, which you covered in another video. So what it really comes down to is how can you have great customer support and maintain a good ranking on Amazon? Because as long as you do continue to do that, sales will come on the Amazon platform as long as the products you're selling are decent. And at the end of the day, pretty much what determines your success on Amazon is how are you getting your products, where are you getting them from, and the main factor is how happy are your customers? And I would have to say that your customer service and your rating on Amazon is directly correlated to how well your store ends up doing. For instance, if Amazon sees your store have 5 stars and have really, really good customer support, they're obviously going to give you more sales than someone who has only 1 star on their platform. And, that's just how Amazon goes. They want to, obviously connect the best buyers with the best sellers. And that's why Jeff Bezos is rich.
So yeah, guys, we hope you got any sort of value out of this video. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe, leave a comment of what you thought about the video. Again, our Instagrams are in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. And yeah, again, we hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Adios.